What's up guys? My name is Darian and welcome to my YouTube channel, my first video ever. I'm super excited to get started on doing a YouTube channel because it's something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and in 2019 I'm just gonna do it. So my first video of my YouTube channel is going to be 18 things I learned in 2018. I learned a lot of lessons this year, 18 to be exact, nothing more, nothing less. I have them here in my journal right here, and we're just gonna hop right in and look at all of these life lessons. Number 1, you don't have to answer every question that you're asked. It's something super simple and probably most of the population knows how to do this, but it's something that I learned this year. One of the main things I was struggling with was I was sharing things with people that I really didn't want to, but because they asked me, I felt like I had to share them with them. But you really don't need to do that. You can keep things to yourself that you want to, and if people ask you a question that you really don't want them to know, you can merely just tell them. I don't really feel comfortable telling you this, or that's really none of your business, or I just really don't want to tell you. Number 2, family is everything. This is something that I learned this year, and I'm so glad that I did. I really place a value now on talking with my family and being with my family. Just because that I live far away and I don't get to see them that often, the times I do come back, I make sure that I'm spending so much time with them because I don't get to spend a lot of time with them. My family does so much for me, and they always made me feel like I'm enough, and they love me the most, and I love them the most. And I'm so happy that I learned that this year. Number 3, true growth is found within solitude. I learned this lesson while in solitude, actually. This summer I took a job in this town where I really didn't know anyone, so I was forced to spend a lot of time with just only myself. And with that, I really learned a lot about myself because that was the only person I was spending time with. Lots of time for reflecting and lots of time to think about my values in life and discovering a lot with myself, just because that was the only person I was really focusing on. And that's really important. Sometimes it's really hard to be by yourself. It's lonely and you can get bored. I was really bored this summer, but that's when true growth really happens. So don't be afraid to be with yourself because you'll discover a lot about yourself when you do that. Number 4, I literally wrote down in my journal, I love journalism, which you probably don't love journalism, maybe you do, but I'm guessing the majority of you don't. But I guess with that, number 4, it's really important to be passionate about your studies, especially if you're spending so much money to study it. You should really go into class every day and be excited about the things you're learning and be passionate about the things you're learning. It makes me so happy when my friends come home from class and they're telling me all about their studies and I literally have no clue what they're talking about, but just seeing them and how passionate they are about it, and I know that's how I feel about my studies too. It makes me really, really happy because it's important to be excited about the things you're learning. And if you're not, I think you should look into something different because this is something that we're going to be learning for the rest of our lives. Number 4, I wrote down, don't be afraid to hurt others' feelings, which sounds pretty harsh, but let me explain. A lot of my life, I was a people pleaser, and I was always worried about other people being hurt or other people being uncomfortable or other people not having their ways. And with that, it was making me uncomfortable and my feelings hurt. But this year I learned that you should really stick up for yourself and not worry if some people aren't going to be happy sometimes. If it means that you're going to be happy or you're going to solve a problem that you're having, because you really have to look out for yourself. Number 6, this is such a huge thing that I learned, and I tell it to people all the time, and a lot of people have actually told me that it's really helped them. So I hope it helps you too, and it's number 6, and it's not that you don't have time to do something, it's that you're not making it a priority. And I think this is a super interesting perspective to look at things in life. So many times we say, oh, I really want to do it, but I don't have time for it. But if you think to yourself, you're actually just not making it a priority, it really puts things in perspective. For example, I always thought that I didn't have time to play the piano, but really I wasn't making it a priority. What I was really making a priority was scrolling through my phone for an hour before I went to bed. Saying that to yourself, I think, can really motivate yourself to think about what you want to prioritize in your life. And it really helps you manage your time better. You'll end up doing a lot more things that you really enjoy. If you take that time that you're spending scrolling through your phone or laying in your bed or watching a ton of TV shows, you'll be doing things that you've always wanted to do, but you felt like you didn't have the time. But now you're prioritizing it. Sorry if the angle changed. I was just making sure that I still had space on my phone. Number 7, never underestimate people. I literally heard this in a TV show, and I don't really have a lot of explanation for it, but it's a really good thing to keep in mind. People are smart and people know what they're doing. That's just always a good thing to keep in mind, I think, to never underestimate people. Number 8. This is a little lesson I learned and a little tip to help you with your small talk. Like most people, I struggled with small talk too, and I was like super awkward and I didn't like it. After hearing this little tip, my small talk has improved immensely. Only ask questions to people that you really want to know about them. Like I said, this has improved my small talk so much. I'm asking people questions that I actually really care about and I really want to know about them. And it makes the conversation so much more interesting and so much less dreadful. Number 9, waking up with positive thoughts will give you a good day, and waking up with negative thoughts will do the opposite. I've noticed that when I wake up holding grudges from people from the day before or being upset about things that happened the day before just causes me to have another bad day. But if you wake up and you have positive thoughts and you wake up like it's a new day, because that's what it is, you will have a good day, I promise. Number 10, trust yourself over other people. You know yourself the best. You've been with yourself forever. You are yourself. You know what is best for you. That gut feeling that you feel in your stomach, that's you, and that's who you should trust in all situations. It's important to get advice from other people and listen to other people, but it's important to know that you know yourself the best. So always trust yourself. Number 11, put it on a list. This is something that I started doing actually recently that I learned towards the end of 2018. Putting things on a list and physically writing them down and taking them from just in your brain into the physical world, putting it on a piece of paper will really, really help. The number one thing that this helps with for me is to-do list. When I want to get something done, I put it on a list. Just seeing it and be able to cross it off too is very, very satisfying, and it will motivate you to get it done because it's right there. Number 12, ideas come at night and execution comes in the morning. I actually heard this tip from another YouTuber. Her name is Lexi Lombard. I think she did it in one of her videos where she talked about the lessons that she learned within her year. At night, my mind is just going and I'm thinking all these ideas. A lot of times I just want to try to do them in that moment while I'm supposed to be sleeping. You will be more motivated and have more energy to do it in the morning, so it's always good to save it until the morning. Number 13, it's easier to think of your life on a systematic track, but it's more interesting to think of it not that way. My English professor this semester actually told us this, and it really stuck with me. A lot of people love routine and they love to know what the future holds for them and to know that they're going to be okay, and that's great. But also knowing how things are going to turn out for you and just living life on kind of a roadmap, I don't think is as fun. While it is more challenging to not think of your life on a track, it's way more interesting not to, because you don't know what the future holds and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I think that makes things all that more interesting and a lot more fun. Number 14. Number 14 is a tough one, and you've probably heard this so many times before, but there's a reason that things are left in your past, and you should keep them there because that's where they are and that's where they should stay, and there's a reason that they're not in your life anymore. You've seen yourself living your life without that, and you know that it's possible to live a happy life without that thing in your past. So it's just good to leave that there. Number 15, making a change in your life creates excitement. I've noticed that in my life, when I change something up in my boring routine, I get a lot more excited to do things and more excited about my life. Even changing something small in my skincare routine, or trying a new product, or listening to a new song when you go to bed at night, I don't know. So if you ever feel just kind of bored with your life, I suggest just changing something little in your life that makes you excited to do it. Number 16, in order to be brave, you have to be scared. That's so cliche, and it sounds like I heard it in a movie because I did. I heard it in 8th grade by Bo Burnham. I love that movie. I dealt with a lot of fear in my life this year, and it made me so frustrated. But in order to be brave, you have to have fear, because in order to be brave, you have to overcome something and be scared of what could change and what could happen and of the unknown. It's important to be brave in life and be uncomfortable and go after things that you really want. It's good to be brave. It's good. Number 17, living in the moment is the greatest way that you can be authentic and real. I actually learned this lesson from a play this year that I read in one of my English courses. The play is called 6 Characters in Search of an Author by Luigi Pirandello. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. In the play, there are characters and there are actors. The characters over here are arguing that they're more real than the actors, the real life actors. I hope this is making sense. It was very, very abstract. My whole English class was like, what is going on? But these characters, they're arguing that they're more real because they never have to live with the illusion of the future. Humans are always thinking about the future and what could come or what could happen, things that aren't even real. And humans also have a problem with thinking of the past and things that are already gone. So in order to be your most authentic self and live in your reality is to do just that, live in just the moment. Number 18, the last thing I learned in 2018. Think of every bad situation as a lesson learned. A lot of these lessons that I just said in this video I actually learned from situations that weren't so good for me and that I could have reacted really angry, have just been sad about my life. But if you just look at it as a lesson learned, it'll make things all that much easier. I urge you to have the patience to do this because it is really hard. But just think, what is the universe trying to tell me? What can I learn from this? The lessons that we learned are from situations that aren't so great. It is when things go wrong, or when we're sad, or anything like that, I guess. I hope that 2019 can bring me so many more lessons learned. I hope it can bring me at least 19 so I can do this video again. These lessons that I just said in this video, I'm really going to keep them in mind going into 2018, and I urge you to do the same. Thank you for watching my first YouTube video. I was probably so awkward, and I promise you I'm gonna get better at this, but you have to start somewhere, I guess. Leave a comment below what you learned in 2018. I'm always looking for cliches that I can keep in my mind to help me get through life, as you can see from this video. Make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys!